issue that has been brewing for over 50 years. It's an issue over which hundreds of lives have been lost in the past many years. It's an issue that has far-reaching consequences for those living on the ground. And though its significance has been felt in Hyderabad all along, perhaps no one could have predicted the impact it would have on the national scene, particularly in the seat of Indian democracy, the Parliament. Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Politics First, the birth of India's 29th state, the politics of Telangana.
Telangana region by reorganizing the existing state of Andhra Pradesh.
Honorable members!
From the appalling blows of pepper sprays to the disruption of the rail budget.
This is my Madon budget under the inspiring guidance of the Honorable.
For the very first time by the government's own ministers.
Telangana, Hyderabad is the midst of Telangana and Hyderabad.
To a mysterious blacking out of Lok Sabha's proceedings.
No. What is this?
And downright unruly behavior even in the upper house.
No.
The past few days have seen unprecedented lows in Indian parliamentary democracy.
This is not democracy.
Perhaps the lowest point amongst these was the use of pepper spray to try and disrupt the functioning of the Lok Sabha when the Telangana bill was being introduced.
To be taken into consideration.
Absolute chaos ensued in the house with the erring MPs being removed by marshals. But the damage was done. Several injured MPs rushed out to the hospital.
This has shamed us. This has shamed us. Our parliamentary democracy is admired throughout the world. Today, what has happened is a blot.
एक सांसद ने एक कुछ स्प्रे किया, जैसे ही स्प्रे किया ऑनरेबल स्पीकर को भी खांसी आ गई, कुछ लोगों को खांसी आ गई, पता नहीं क्या स्प्रे किया, मगर जो हमने आज पार्लियामेंट में देखा उसको देखकर बहुत ही दुख हो रहा है कि क्या आज के दिन के लिए हम पार्लियामेंट में आए थे, बहुत ही गंदा हुआ।
मैंने कल प्रधानमंत्री को भी कहा कि मैंने तो 1970 से लेकर के मैं पार्लियामेंट में हूं, ऐसे दृश्य कभी नहीं देखे।
The House had barely been called to order. It was not order. Members were struggling for papers. It's an unprecedented and a disgraceful situation.
Have you seen such a disturbance, sir, in your...
No, I'm not. This is my 9th term. I've never seen such a disturbance.
It has never happened in the history of the parliament. The kind of, this incident has taken place. So strong possible action will be taken. Other political parties also being consulted.
Pepper spray is a legally allowed self-defense for self-defense.
Worse was the defense offered by the pepper spray MP, who appeared completely remorseless.
What were you doing with a pepper spray inside Parliament? I'm sorry to have to say this. You must be insane to be carrying a pepper spray and, using a pepper spray inside Parliament.
Arnav, you have seen through videos, 100 MPs from Congress were in the well. They've been instigated at the behest of the Congress leadership. They were there in the well from various states, trying to manhandle us, trying to restrain us, and then attack us. And I've seen them attacking one of my colleague MPs, Venugopal, at the other side. I rushed there, seeing them in a group.
Who was attacking you?
Them. I tried to
Who was attacking you? You are saying you acted out of self-defense. 1 minute. You say you are acting out of self-defense. You say you are at the receiving end of a mob?
No,
were you being physically assaulted? Was your life under threat? Was somebody trying to murder you?
They were attacking please let me tell you. Pepper spray is a legally allowed self-defense for self-defense.
The controversy just didn't end there. If the unruly lawmakers presented a deplorable picture, the sudden turn of events in the Lok Sabha raked up a fresh controversy. When the House convened post-3, Lok Sabha plate appeared claiming the House to be adjourned, but in fact, the Speaker hadn't announced adjournment. Amidst accusations of blackout by the opposition parties, the people of Andhra Pradesh didn't get to witness the Telangana bill passed in the Lok Sabha, as the state was born in darkness.
जहाँ तक जो हमारे यहाँ तो प्रोटेस्ट उसी समय हुआ जब टीवी बंद हुआ, उसी समय प्रोटेस्ट हुआ। नहीं, वो तो उसको अब क्या फॉर्मली कहें जो हो चुका, लेकिन हम लोग तो इसके ये तो अभी जो बोले हैं वो फॉर्मली है ना ऑन रिकॉर्ड कि जिस तरह से किया गया।
An effort to call it a technical glitch falling flat as the opposition members tore into the government.
This is an official gallery where the secretaries of the ministers and ministry, and including the Prime Minister's office, I have never seen IS officer, all of them stand up. And I'll show you another picture which tell you what was happening in the parliament. If you can see, everybody is standing, including the media people.
The government fielding its best to defend its speaker, but the opposition wasn't convinced.
It was not a blackout. See, members of parliament who belong to various parties and which had reservations on Telangana were in the well. When they were asked to move their amendments, they moved their amendments from the well. When they asked for division, they asked for division in the well. And when division was agreed to, they did not go back to their seats. There was ruckus in the house. Therefore, the bill could not be voted in a regular manner.
Those who have seen Parliament from close quarters say that never before was a bill's passage shrouded in such secrecy, a sign perhaps of the government's desperation to ensure that the bill sees the light of day.
What has happened with the Telangana bill has indeed, I think, created a dangerous precedent, because the way the bill was pushed through in the Lok Sabha without debate in the midst of a din means in future any government wants to just ram something through, they can resort to these kind of tactics. So in that sense, I think it's very dangerous. Rajya Sabha was a little better because at least there was some semblance of a debate, although there was quite a lot of pandemonium, and we had this very ugly scene where the Secretary General was pushed by one of the opposing MPs, for which he apologized later, of course. But if we go into the history of Parliament, whenever a contentious bill that has a very high emotional content is sought to be passed, we have seen unruly scenes before as well. This is not, maybe this time it was like really bad, but we have seen things happen in the past.
In fact, the passage of the bill in the din itself was an issue that divided the principal opposition party, the BJP. Senior leader of the BJP, Lal Krishna Advani, was apparently miffed with the idea that the party allowed the bill to be passed in the din in the Lok Sabha, apart from the fact that he criticized the government for violating parliamentary principles and traditions.
I feel very sad about it.
So miffed was LK Advani that the leader of opposition in Lok Sabha had to put up a brave face, denying internal differences and brushing aside allegations. But the government wasn't keen to let the opportunity go. After several rounds of negotiations between the government and opposition, the centre hit out at the BJP for what it termed the party's double game.
हमेशा इन्होंने कहीं कहा हम समर्थन कर रहे हैं, कहीं कहा हम विरोध कर रहे हैं। आज ये बात स्पष्ट हो गई कि कहते हैं हम सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, हम आगे भी सपोर्ट करेंगे, पहले भी सपोर्ट कर रहे थे, पर ये गैर संवैधानिक है। इसका सीधा अर्थ और मायने है कि इनका डबल गेम था, दोनों तरफ ये अपनी बात करना चाहते थे।
To support formation of Telangana state for BJP, it was based on one presumption that if a new state was formed, it would help them to be firm in another state down south after Karnataka and to spread party down south. But at the end of the day, it turned out to be a far more harder or a tougher of a decision for the party, as a last-minute change of heart within the party was also because of their own senior leaders.
There was some difference of opinion with regard to the approach. The approach was that members felt we should not pass it in din, members, and then we should have a frank discussion, and then we should also address the concerns of Seemandhra. That was the only thing is, there was a fear that we may be dubbed. Mr. Kamal Nath has tried to do it also, saying that BJP is opposed to passage of Telangana bill. The other point is, okay, we should vote for the bill, but at the same time we should insist on doing justice to Seemandhra. How do you go about it? There are different approaches.
But when the bill reached Rajya Sabha, there was another twist in store. Congress MP Chiranjeevi stood up to oppose his own government.
Deep sense of anguish. Being a congressman, speaking against my own party's decision is painful.
The BJP too suddenly raised the question of constitutionality.
How the UPA government has gone about the exercise of creating the state of Telangana.
Both parties seemingly trying to play the balancing act.
I think they went around in a very haphazard way, not in a hasty manner, because they have taken a huge number of years to make Telangana. In 2009, they had announced in December 9, 2009 that they will create Telangana. But thereafter they went back and then they waited till the last day of the session of Parliament to make Telangana. So giving it a sort of sign that it was done in a very hasty fashion. But it is not hasty, but it is certainly done in a very haphazard, unplanned manner and rushed through at the last moment.
The passage of the Telangana bill has thrown up a number of questions. The most worried are the two national parties, the BJP and the Congress, who will not only find it difficult to garner votes on ground, but also to find new friends and allies, something they badly need this poll season.